Welcome to Around Town with Rotary. This is a monthly program to help educate and let you know all of the great things that the Beverly Rotary Club does for so many right here in our community. My name is Al Temkin. I will serve today as co-host, and each month when we run this, we typically interview a brother and a sister Rotarian, and we're going to do that today. To introduce our guest is my co-host here, Mike Harrington. Mike, it's all yours.
Thank you, Al. Good to see you here today. Hey, well, the name of the show is Around Town with Rotary, and our special guest here today is certainly a guy that spends a lot of time being out around town. He's a very accomplished guy, very talented, interesting guy, and also at some point here in the coming years is going to be an incoming president of Rotary. So we'd like to welcome Nate Seavey. Welcome, Nate.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here.
Hey, before we get into your career and Rotary and all that kind of stuff, we'd love to just hear people's story. Kind of where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit about your childhood and those early years. Can you do that?
Yeah, for sure. I love that question of like, where are you from? What are you doing? It's such a innocuous way to talk about somebody's identity, who they are and who they feel like they can be in the community. So I pull a lot of my identity from my heritage, like a lot of people do. My mother's side is Italian, my father's side is English, and there's a huge history there of artists and teachers and tradespeople and craftsmen, and all of that sort of comes together where I grew up in Rockport, which is quarrymen, fishermen, tradesmen, and artists. Sculptors, painters, name it, they were there. So I grew up in Rockport, which is a great place to grow up, but it kind of spoils you a little bit. My summer job was kayaking and working at the candy shop, right? Which is
the mean streets of Rockport.
Yeah, the mean streets of Rockport. It beats bagging groceries.
Right.
But I was born at Beverly Hospital, actually, and my grandfather went to MIT. He was an architect, designed a lot of houses around here, and he did a wing of Beverly Hospital. Isn't that funny?
Well,
that's cool.
Great. That's
cool.
great.
He was on the housing board in Rockport and helped write a lot of their building code down there too. So I kind of feel like the real estate's in my blood a little bit that way.
Oh, good.
And then from there my mother worked at Gordon College, which, has a reputation in many different directions, and we can leave that for another time. But, the people there are very good, very great people. I made a lot of good connections there with good folks. And I graduated with English and theater concentration and poetry concentration.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
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 Okay. So you were exposed to the arts, really. It was kind of just part of your DNA, just in terms of where you lived and your surroundings and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Most of our Rotarians and people on this show have had relatively accomplished careers, interesting careers. But sometimes you wonder, what were you thinking back in the day when you were in high school, getting into school? What were you hoping to be? Because sometimes our career takes a track right exactly as we planned, but sometimes it takes a few lefts and rights, and it's curious to see how that shakes out. What were your thoughts back in the day?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't really have thoughts. I just thought, where can I go to be helpful? Like, what can I do where it's going to make an impact? So sometimes it was music. I thought I might be a musician for a little bit. For a while there, it was science. I thought I was going to be a scientist or a doctor or something like that. But at Gordon College, all of the pre-med were just insane people. They weren't very much fun. They were like much more concentrated on stuff. And I thought that's really, really great. I really enjoy learning about that stuff. But the English and theater people were just so much fun, So yeah, it was more in that direction.
See where it leads.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But then I transitioned sort of over towards the end of college into that English theater type of thing. Yeah.
That's great. So a lot of creative types of juices flowing in those early years.
Yeah.
Not really knowing where it would lead, but hopefully someplace kind of fun and interesting.
Yeah. And there's a lot of technical stuff in theater too.
Sure.
With the lighting and the sound. I was always interested in the behind the scenes as well. So there is a sort of like, again, sort of pulling from, one half of the family was hardworking tradespeople. The other half was architects and sort of mentally creative people. So I feel like I have both of those traits. I try and be creative within this logical or strategic framework.
Awesome.
Interesting. That's interesting. And I just want to add, I think I would want my doctor to be focused and to be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's kind of a really
a
good
good
thing.
thing.
If they
good thing I
sang
didn't go
while they
into it,
operated,
yeah.
that would be fun.
Yeah. When the moon hits your eye.
Yeah, I'm not sure that would make me feel terribly comfortable.
Me neither.
But
Yeah.
so you said you were born in Beverly.
Yep.
Now you are living, I think, in Beverly.
Right. Yep.
And what is it that brought you here?
Well, so after college, I went and did student teaching and substitute teaching in Rockport. And then a friend of mine who worked in the city at the Josiah Quincy Upper School said, hey, we need people out here. And, I had some experiences that showed what kids needed was someone to pay attention to them. They needed, you have to know the subject as well, but just knowing the subject isn't enough. You have to get into people's lives a little bit. And especially in the city, those kids, they often, their parents were either non-existent or overworked or didn't know how to work the system. They were coming from another country and didn't know how to do it. I used to get called dad like 3 times a year, by different kids. But we lived in the city for a long time. South Boston, Cambridge. And when my wife and I decided to get married and have kids, we were like, this isn't going to work out. Like money-wise, we're both teachers. It would be very difficult to stay in the city and to have the sort of life that we had imagined. I was working 12-hour days at the school. I was in charge of the yearbook, the prom, the student government. I ran after-school programs. I ran the summer program. And I taught 5 preps of theater. So it was, we'd do that and then go home and correct papers. There just wasn't a time for my own kids.
Sure, that's a lot going on, yeah.
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 So when we decided to settle down, it was like we looked around the different towns that we knew. And I had known Beverly from my college time here. And we thought, I think that's going to be the right spot, right in between the city and my parents that still live in Rockport. It's big enough that there's a lot going on. And once we moved here and we started, what we started doing first was trying to come up here and see if we liked it. So, we went to the First Parish Church, we went to A&B Burger, we went to as many things up here as we could. Sure. And we just found the people to be a teamwork oriented. Everyone was sort of helpful and understood the bigger picture and was just welcoming. So, yeah.
Decision got made. How long have you been in Beverly?
Well, I actually lived here for a little while I was teaching. I took the train in. So, I don't know, we've been here now 4 or 5 years.
Good for you.
But we've always sort of been around this area.
Yeah. Tell us about your family.
So, I got 3 boys. It's like
God
a
bless you.
testosterone
God bless you.
testosterone tornado, like through the house all the time. There's a hole in the wall that the boys constantly
naturally
punch on. I'm just not fixing it. I'm not fixing it until they're old enough to not punch it. They'll be like,
Have
that's
them
where the
fix it,
hole used to be, and punch it again.
teach them plastering.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's a good idea. We might do that. But they're a whole lot of fun. I've got a 9-year-old. He just turned 9 a couple days ago. 5-year-old. And 8-month-old, or 9-month-old now. And it's just fun. And it's fun to see how they love each other,
Sure.
So Henry he learned to read really early. And so we found that he actually is flourishing at Gus, the Glen Eckert School.
Yeah.
And Oliver's about to start at Ayers. And we love Ayers. Everyone we met there has been just warm, welcoming. Megan Hart is just... she's on it. She knows what's up. And we know a few of the teachers there, because Henry went there for a year or 2 originally as well. And so just a great community over there. And little Charlie, we'll see what he turns into.
That's awesome. Good for
Yeah,
you. Sounds like a beautiful
great.
family. Good for you.
It's a blast. And of course, Monica, my wife, without saying, is just the glue, the ground that we walk on. Like, she is just everything.
As is true with all of us. That's just the way
she's
it
herding
is.
cats over there with 4 guys.
Oh, yeah, she is a champ, a champion. Yeah.
God love her. That's great.
Yeah.
So I know you touched on your teaching career, but just remind us again, where did you teach and what age group? Or...
Yeah. So I was hired 18 hours before the school year started.
Wow.
I forget the year, but they said, hey, the science teacher backed out 18 hours before the start of the school year. Can you teach science? A full load of science plus a part-time job of humanities. So I was teaching every period all day. I said, hey, where are the books for the science? And they said, I don't know, look in the closet. There's just chairs, just a pile of chairs in the closet. There was no books, no curriculum. So I'm having them like, I've got my old college textbook out, and I'm trying to teach them the bones and stuff, you know. It was an adventure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was 6th grade, and then I changed to 7th grade humanities, and then it was 10th grade humanities, and I added in theater. So by the end of it, actually that school transitioned into International Baccalaureate School. So it's an international designation for, you know, it actually started as a diplomat's children's school. So like if you were stationed in Nicaragua and then you had to move to Norway, that you could have a contiguous education for the diplomats. But it sort of trickled down, and now I think actually Josiah Quincy School, it's right in Chinatown, right in downtown Chinatown on Arlington Street, about a minute from the Commons. That I think is still the only school in the United States that has International Baccalaureate without a pre-qualifying test and is not a private school, doesn't require tuition. So I'm really proud of the work there that they did of making that available to students who, you know, didn't have the sort of structure that would allow them to do that sort of thing otherwise.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a really cool, unique place, or a unique
amazing.
environment.
Yeah.
So along the way, you decided, hey, I want to pivot, I want to get involved in real estate.
Yeah.
When did that happen, and what was the thought process there?
Yeah, it's my real estate origin story. So my wife and I living above a bar in Southie. Great life, lots of fun. But, you know, we're living above the Lincoln. You know, there's like a lot of stuff going on there,
Sure.
a lot of noise, a lot of bustle. And when we decided to have kids, we just thought we've got to get our own place. You know, it's a lot of people feel that way.
Sure.
Well, on our salaries and our locations, it wasn't going to be what we wanted it to be by staying in the city. But we happened upon the idea of buying a multifamily. And with the multifamily, the other rents started covering what we had, and it turned out to be cheaper to do that than to keep renting. And so I thought, you know, I know so many artists, teachers, musicians, you know, people that have sometimes some variable income or who want to pursue a passion. And I do think teaching is a passion. And I thought, they need to know about this. They need to know that you could buy a home and have a stable-ish income, and you don't have to pay so much. So that was sort of what transitioned me into going, okay, can I teach adults something? You know, and I sort of brought that same teaching energy into real estate. And it's blossomed somewhat there. You know, I don't do just multifamily anymore, but it is something that finances and real estate, they go hand in hand. You have to know something about each, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, you know, my real estate agent that helped us buy that house was not particularly special. You know, it didn't blow me away. And I go, okay, I've got a master's degree and a half. I can do this. Like I can learn a new thing and do a career transition.
Yeah, well, it's great you were able to bring some of that education in, and people could probably feel that and feel the value, and that's great.
Yeah, it's so opaque, the process for most people. I really pride myself on saying to people, look, you can understand this. Let's walk through it, and then you can be really involved in the decision making instead of me going, oh yeah, buy that house, pay this much, you know. Like, treat people like they're smart.
I'm sure that our viewers are going to want to hear a lot more about your real estate business, and I do want to ask you about that right after this break. So, ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention. We've got a very short, quick video for you to, again, help you learn and know more about all the wonderful things that the Beverly Rotary Club does right here in our community, and we'll see you in just a minute.
We raise a lot of money for Beverly organizations.
And they bought us our refrigerated van.
They made a significant contribution to the restoration of Ellis Square.
They helped us house a family experiencing homelessness.
They bought us our bookmobile.
They were actually the first ones to donate instruments to the high school band.
bought oxygen masks for our rescue dogs.
They help buy our school bus.
They fund the annual Bradgate Ice Cream Social at Lynch Park every summer, and they even scoop the ice cream.
Since 2014, they've supported the Cabot, funding preservation of this historic gem.
They helped to fund the Council on Aging van.
They were a major donor to our new infant toddler playground.
They bought an emergency generator for Harbor Lighthouse.
We funded and built the gazebo.
And we've got a green thumb.
A lot of green thumbs.
A lot of green thumbs.
Not to mention sculptures.
We planted more than 100 trees last year.
They donated a shuttle bus stop that brings veterans to the VA hospital in Bedford.
We're going to buy a water drone to clean plastics out of Beverly Harbor.
They make a big difference for United Way.
We give up to 8 scholarships.
8 scholarships every year since the mid-1980s.
And I was a recipient, and thanks to their help, I was the first in my family to go to college.
It's more than just a local organization.
There are 33,000 clubs
in 200 countries with 1.2 million members worldwide.
All that good adds up.
Those do-gooders just keep doing good.
We funded 13 wells in Kisumu, Kenya, bringing water to 13 schools.
We contributed to Kalusha School in Pakistan, and later to the construction of a fabulous women's college.
Hi, I'm Izzy Polito.
I'm Mirabella Polito. I'm Andrea Polito. And we're all youth exchange students.
We started the youth exchange program 13 years ago, partly because I was also an exchange student in 1979.
I'm Aku. I'm from Finland. They hosted me as an exchange student.
We funded Dr. Gordon Sato of Hamilton, who devised a way to grow trees in salt water in Senegal, Mauritania, and Eritrea.
Our club has funded at least 20 life-changing surgeries around the world.
And we've participated as non-medical volunteers
in the Philippines,
in Bolivia,
and Venezuela.
And remember,
since launching the Polio Plus campaign over 30 years ago, the number of polio cases worldwide has dropped 99%.
In 2019, clubs in the district joined the Polar Plunge to eradicate polio. The clubs raised $90,000.
Can we get back to Beverly, please?
Over the past 10 years, we've raised, probably about $100,000. Try $400,000.
Over the past 10 years, we've raised over $1 million.
I have made some wonderful friends.
It's downright inspiring.
It's an important part of my week.
It's a very important part of my week.
Sometimes it's the best part of my week.
It's one of the best things I do.
Even if people still ask about the secret handshake.
Welcome back, everybody. And here we are around town with Rotary and with our guest, Nate Seavey. And Nate's been helping us to understand the transition he made some years ago from teaching into the real estate business. And so, Nate, I want you to just please, if you would, tell our viewers a little bit about your real estate business.
Yeah. So it was, the transition was interesting because for the first year in real estate, you really make no money. No one trusts you with such a big decision, right? But now I'm top 5% in Massachusetts of single people and teams. I blast out, I have a whole team that works with me. I've got people behind the scenes, and it's really grown over the last 9 years to be a community of people too. So I invite everyone that I've ever worked with to a big party every year, and we just have a blast because the people are just good people. You just surround yourself with good people, and they all, they make connections with each other, and it's really it's less of a transactional thing and more of a, hey, let's build the community that we want to live in. Mm-hmm. So we sort of gather people together and help them not just buy a house, but integrate into a community.
Yep. Tell us a little bit about that team. You mentioned team a couple of times.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
So right now, I have 2 transaction coordinators. I have a marketing department that sort of comes from, partially from my brokerage. And then I have, my wife works with me as well. So she does a lot of behind the scenes paperwork and sort of event planning, long-term marketing, managing social media, things like that. So we're sort of a team there. But it's actually getting to the point where I think I need to hire somebody else.
Wow.
So I am kind of looking for a very particular person that sort of shares my ethics around it and, has the ability to sort of do it full time.
To do the marketing full time?
Well, to be a buyer's agent or do showings or just I'm doing a lot of listings and it's running around with buyers. I try and do that because I have a lot of building knowledge too. My dad was a carpenter and handyman for a while, so we used to go build houses and repair houses. So I think that's a value that I bring, but I'd like someone else to have some of that knowledge. You just sort of come alongside me and sort of be my double a little bit.
Kind of mirror you, yeah. Now I know, Nate, you're involved in a lot of stuff. I know that personally, and I know you're good at everything that you do. I'm assuming that Monica might take an issue with that, but that's okay. She's not here.
Exactly.
Tell us about your involvement with these Ryleside, the Civic Association.
Yeah. So one of the things when we first got up here is to just get involved in the community. So I started going to the Ryleside Civic Association, and pretty soon it was time for a board seat opened up, and then they needed a president. So I've been the president there for a couple years now, and the Ryleside Civic Association is the gem of Ryleside. I don't know any other part of town here or any other town on the North Shore that has such an active and cooperative civic association. We run an Easter egg hunt. We run the 4th of July parade. We run classes at the building for yoga, dance. We do the Boy Scouts. The Girl Scouts meet in that building. We do a turkey drive, a present drive. We're just busy all year round. We work closely with the PTO to help support them in the schools. And it's just amazing to see the community come together around that. And it's really cool. It's like a mini Rotary almost in Ryleside.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then through that, actually, the mayor asked me to be on the Economic and Cultural Development Council because I've got a sort of so now we meet once a month and we sort of advise the mayor of what's going on in town. What are people thinking? Business owners, we do surveys, and we sort of advise the mayor, hey, look, this is what people are saying they need out of the city. So we've met with some of the people over at Cherry Hill, Main Street businesses, and of course, trying to take what's going on at Ryleside and just bring it directly in front of the mayor.
Sure. Well, you're a talented guy. The mayor's lucky to be able to bring you in and get you involved in that as well.
It's a blast.
I know you're also active in the First Parish Church. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I just end up being on the boards of things. So, like if I get involved,
you don't know how to say no.
I don't know how to say no.
Like Al and I.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the guppy that just they're like, oh, that guy'll do it. Get him up there.
Everybody else takes a step back.
Yeah, exactly. So we started going there, and what a warm and welcoming community that is. I mean, we've got a bunch of churches here that are just, they sort of undergird a lot of what the city does, and they make these connections to places that sort of keep the city running in a way. So we found a great community there, and so I was on the board there for a while, and I'm on the giving board now. And it's again, that's that big yellow church downtown next to the memorial monument, and so I also helped with their educational program, bringing people in and helping write curriculum for their educational program. And it's been great to see that place blossom. And
is that the one where Julie Flowers is the?
Julie Flowers is next door. She's our
the
sister
other one.
church.
Yeah. Because she's awesome. So
she's amazing.
Yeah, she is.
And so we're bringing that. So it's a Unitarian church. Nobody knows what a Unitarian is. So but it's basically just a bunch of people that want to love on the town and on each other and build a community.
That's awesome. Cool. Now, I know you're involved in a very glamorous project, the Dane Street cleanup. Can you tell us a little bit quickly about that?
Yeah, so Tim, being a small business owner, you've got to advertise.
Sure.
And you have the choice of how you spend those advertising dollars. So, I get those calls, you guys probably get them too, of the lady who wants you to put up the sign at Stop and Shop, with the hand sanitizer. So you're like, you're smiling there, just pumping hand sanitizer all day. It wasn't really my vibe. So I just talked to Tim and I said, what can I do to support the why? And he said, I'm glad you asked. We've got all kinds of programs. And so one of them was, and this was actually a program I started at the school where I taught is we did beach cleanups. So we would go to Carson Beach in Boston.
Carson Beach.
Carson Beach. And so I was like, I could do that here. And he said, great, we've got a day to do it. We've got all the infrastructure. You know, you just show up and help out. So it was really great to be a part of that, and I think we'll do that going forward. This year was the first year.
That's awesome.
We did it, yeah.
Now, we also happen to know that you are, as you had mentioned, quite a talented young man. In fact, I've heard from some other people that in fact that's true. So, well, tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about some of the, maybe the theater groups that you're involved with, or the musical stuff that you do.
Yeah. So, I mean, community is. Well, all right. I'm not going to launch into the whole thing where math and arts are, you know, arts are actually above math, I think, in terms of importance. You know, I'll go through the whole litany later. But I think arts is integral to communities. And so, you know, I'm going to be playing actually at Chianti's tomorrow night with the some of the Cape Ann Big Band people. And it's, so I've been playing music around Gloucester and Beverly for a number of years. With the Cape Ann Big Band, we actually played at the Cabot, and we played at the Shaylin Lou, and it's been a blast to just see how the community comes together around arts and things like that. And then I worked with History Alive over in Salem. That's a very responsible theater company that tells the story of what actually happened during the Salem witch trials and sort of invites people to be interactive in the ideas surrounding that. So I try and help them grow, and it's a very cool company. If you want to know more about it, sometime we can chat.
That's great. Hey, well, we have a few minutes left. Let's just jump into Rotary. This is the Rotary television program. You've been a Rotarian for how long now?
A couple of years. Yeah. Sean Goudreau said, hey, I think, Sean, man, how cool is Sean?
He's awesome.
Talk about an interesting guy, yeah.
He's super awesome. Interesting, great guy. But anyway, he said, these I think are your kind of people, and they are. Rotary is full of interesting, active people who are committed to helping the community and also being excellent at what they do, which I think is a good group of people to hang around.
Yeah, so you've been on the board and you're actually in line to become president. Tell us a little bit about that. What are some of your thoughts as you think about a future of being the president of Rotary?
Yeah, first off, gratefulness to be considered and to be thought of in that way, and really looking to fill some pretty big shoes of people before me. And so I'll rely very heavily on past presidents to help guide me. But I think the Rotary, if more people understood what we did, more people would join. And so what you guys are doing here to get the word out about Rotary is like fabulous, fabulous stuff. So I'm really looking forward to spreading the word about Rotary and then seeing what sort of underserved local charities or a demographic of folks could be helped by what we do.
Yeah. Well, most presidents go into their presidency maybe with a few things that are kind of unique to them. A certain organization they want to promote, or a certain project they want to support, or whatever. And you have a little bit of time to develop that. But the good news is you get an active club who's generous, and usually they want to support their president. So I'm sure that when your time comes, you'll be well supported.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Terrific. Hey, folks at home that might want to contact you about real estate or whatever, I mean, how could they reach you?
Sure. I mean, they can send me a text message, 617-545-4997. They can go to Facebook. I'm on Facebook, or just my website. Just Google me. I have a Google profile. You can get in touch with me that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to talk with people in the town.
Now, you work primarily here in the North Shore, or?
Well, I have a lot of connections in the city, and I have a lot of connections in Rockport, and I have a lot of connections in Beverly. So I sort of, Route 1 and over is sort of, and I go all the way to Amesbury on occasion. But sort of in that area, Middleton, Linfield, I've worked in. So there's sort of this area, the sort of north of Boston to New Hampshire. But I refuse to get my New Hampshire license because I'll just be in the car all the time. And while I have young kids,
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised you have enough time for everything now with all the things you're involved in.
It's Monica. It's all Monica.
Yeah.
She is the wind beneath my wings, literally.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's great. Well, listen, everybody at home, thanks for joining us here today. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about a really interesting guy, Nate Seavey. As he mentioned, we have a lot of really bright, interesting, accomplished people in the Rotary Club. If you'd like to learn more about the Rotary Club, certainly visit us on our website, BeverlyRotaryClub.com. But in the meantime, thank you, Nate, for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Big thank you to my wingman here, Al Temkin, and everybody. We'll see you back here again sometime soon on Around Town with Rotary.